Hey YouTube, these are the PROCAR seats, the short ones, that are going in the 77 Camaro that we're building in the garage now. I wanted to go over what had to take place for these to become, I don't want to say remotely acceptable, but for these to even be able to be mounted in the car in any kind of usable fashion. So first of all, here's the actual seat itself is right here. I'm trying to make this not to insult anybody, but to make sure everybody knows. Now you have the slider that attaches to the seat base, and then you have the actual seat mount that's also sold by PROCAR that mounts in the physical seat itself. Originally, these sliders had these longer tongues on them. So, using the Dremel tool, we've cut these off, which has reduced the height of the seat when installed in the car by maybe an inch or so. But you also were not able to mount it in the lowest position, which is this one here, the one left on the seat mount, because it interfered with the base that physically bolts to the floor pan. So if that all makes sense. And if you're running into this, if you bought these seats, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You physically need to cut them off. And then I rounded these off with a little sanding wheel or whatever that came with the Dremel, and then hit them with sandpaper and then Scotch-Brite just to kind of smooth them out as much as possible, because I didn't want to get caught with any sharp edges if, you know, one of the kids is reaching underneath the seat, or if I am for change or whatever it is that falls underneath seats nowadays. So I wanted to kind of clean those all up and make sure they were good to go. This will allow the seat to sit a little bit better, but now I don't want to induce rust or anything, you know, or any kind of corrosion. So I'm going to take this back apart, paint them with POR 15, and then have them ready to install in the car. So this is one of the ones, let's focus here. This is the one for the passenger side that's been cut and able to mount. It's really unfortunate that these aren't made like the original seat mounts that'll allow them to sit lower. I'm like 5'10", maybe 5'11", something like that, and sitting in it, I've got about an inch of clearance between my head and the headliner before I adjusted them. So now I'm going to have about 2 inches of clearance. Well, I mean, you get more head clearance in a Camry nowadays, so that's kind of the unfortunate part, but there's no other way to get a high quality replacement seat. You can fix your original seats, but there's no way to get a high quality replacement seat in the car without going through this kind of effort, in my opinion. There's other seats. This is the second set of seats I bought. I did buy the regular race seats from Jegs, and actually here's the box. Here's the box for the PROCAR seats, and here's the box for the regular sports seat that I bought originally, and that would not fit. I couldn't, even without the mount or anything installed. For one, the PROCAR mounts weren't even made to go on the regular this Jegs sports seat, and even, you know, just kind of mocking it up and in an effort to like try to tack weld the things on, you weren't able to recline the seats at all. So that's what had me go to the Lowback seats here. And from what I'm understanding, if you get the Lowback seats, and I'm gonna have to check this out myself, underneath here is actually the receptacles for the headrest. So if you wanted to, you could get a soldering iron, punch a hole, and put a headrest in it. I don't know if that's 100% yet, but I've read on a forum that somebody was saying that all the seats were made the same. Just, you know, this is covered with fabric here. So I guess I'm kind of washing out here, but this was covered with just the fabric, and I'm not sure if that's accurate or not. We'll see. I don't know that I'm going to take the seat apart to check it out. I'm just going to do more research online, maybe call the company and see. I kind of doubt that they're going to give me just, you know, the approval to do it or whatever. Obviously, you know, your warranty would kind of be voided at that point, but this is from when it was sitting in the car against the sill plate, so I didn't realize that was before I moved it out, so that's unfortunate, but I'm sure that'll all come out in the wash. Either way, that's how this stuff works. So I hope it works out for you. I think the quality for these PROCAR seats is amazing. I mean, these things are really high quality. All the metal, everything is just really strong. The foam is really dense. Your adjustment for your sliders lever is really strong and secure. When I was looking at it online, held together with just this little attachment bar, I was thinking that probably wouldn't be the best thing to have. You know, it just didn't seem very high quality. I've seen some other sliders that seemed a lot more sturdy, but this is actually like bulletproof. I mean, everything is really thick steel, thick springs. The mounts are freaking huge. Everything's just really high quality. So I was really happy with that. So props off to SCAT for that stuff. And here's a bottom picture of how those seats go together. It is a little confusing when you're attaching this bar here at the bottom in the beginning, because you think, oh, maybe it should go over here. I found through experimenting that it looks like they make both of these levers the same, and then they just hack one side off depending on which is the left and which is the right kind of thing. So either way, that's what they look like. Really good deal, man. I think the seats are great. I wish they'd sit a little lower, but I've seen those complaints all over the place. And I'm gonna write a couple of reviews on Jags and Amazon and stuff like that, just to kind of get the word out, because this was a freaking nightmare trying to figure out which seats would go where, and this is the only way I knew for sure that I could get the seats in. So I'm still gonna have to play around with it. Luckily, the majority of your mounting points you can get to without or with the seat still attached, so that'll be nice. Next, I've got to punch holes in the carpet and mount it up, but I'll do an update video afterwards. I just kind of wanted to bring that part up with the brackets, because I'd seen a lot of stuff online about what you needed to do, and this seems to be the only way to get some decent headroom. And I know taller guys and gals aren't really going to work out, you know, it's not going to work out with this kind of thing still. I've seen a bunch of them that said they had to go back to their stock seats and all that kind of stuff just because this mount physically wouldn't work for them. But either way, I appreciate you watching, and have a good one.